Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Wild Sports Talk. It's not really Wild Sports Talk, but we're going to be back at that on next Monday, by the way. I hope everybody's had a wonderful holiday season. This is a Monday Night Football post-game report with Lauro and Isaiah. Isaiah, how are you doing?
Uh, I could be better. I mean, work was pretty good today. A lot of my coworkers are really nice people. My dinner was really good, but the game itself, I mean, it was a stinker. I mean, I listened and watched a little bit of it. The first half, the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, and I just turned it off because I was like, man, this thing is boring, man. I was so high on Ian Book because I like to see rookies succeed. I really wanted to see Ian Book succeed tonight. I thought that he was. I said this last night on our extra point show that Ian Book. I said he was no scrub. I thought that this kid could ball, and I thought that he definitely deserves a chance to show himself. And unfortunately, the pieces around him and the coaching staff, they didn't do their part. So it sucks to see that he had to put up that terrible of a performance tonight and get hit so much against the Miami Dolphins. But we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the Miami Dolphins. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa has really shown that he's the Dolphins quarterback of the future. By the way, he's playing. A lot of people have really given up on him, Isaiah, and yeah, I know that the media has just been impatient with Tua. They're underappreciating Tua, but you know what? Give the guy time. He just came off of rib injuries, and he's a guy that I believe in to lead the Miami Dolphins into the future.
Well, for me, I think tonight's game for me showed that. I mean, I wouldn't say that Tua is for me right now a top five or top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like he's still got ways to prove. But I think Miami is formidable. I mean, this team is red hot. They've won like seven in a row now. They're 8-7. Their defense is playing outstanding football. I mean, they were rallying to the ball today. I know the Saints, like they were missing their star left tackle, but still, I mean, the Dolphins defense was just rallying to the ball. The defensive line was extremely ferocious. The linebackers were ferocious. The secondary covered extremely well. So the defense is very formidable. Brian Flores, ever since he took back play calling duties on the defensive side of the ball, they have played outstanding football on that side. And on offense, Tua doesn't really have to be like Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers. He just needs to get the ball out to his playmakers and let them do their thing. I mean, Jalen Waddle was tremendous tonight. They were using him all different sorts of ways as a receiver, as a runner in the jet sweep, all that stuff. Gesicki was great tonight. But I mean, I just think that the Miami Dolphins, I think that, they can go a bit far, but they just got to minimize the self-inflicted wounds, like the turnovers and the penalties. I thought that they definitely, I mean, they blew out the Saints, but they should have put up more points on the New Orleans Saints tonight had they not turned the ball over, and also um, had they not, had they not had like really stupid penalties.
You think? I mean, when I watched the game, what about that Marshawn Lattimore penalty?
Was it the one where Waddle was running out of bounds? He just like shoves him.
Yes, he kind of shoved him there.
I thought that was very unnecessary. I was like, I saw that play and I was just like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing in that situation? The guy's already out of bounds and you just give him a shove. Like, it was totally unnecessary. I believe like that took away an opportunity for the Dolphins to punt. I think that was like third down. He pushes him and it ends up being like first down instead of fourth down. So that was a really boneheaded mistake by the New Orleans Saints. But I can't wait to get into the Saints part of this because I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of my stuff off my chest when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, and as for the New Orleans Saints, I mean, they've been through a lot of quarterbacks this year. I mean, Sean Payton has done a Sean Payton, from what I saw your message on the group of MI6. This was by far one of his worst coaching games ever. Tell me why.
Sean Payton, he's a Super Bowl champion. He is a guy that's good with veteran quarterbacks, but he's overrated as hell because this guy cannot develop a young quarterback. He can only do good with ready-made veteran quarterbacks. You're right, Laurel. Tonight was the worst coaching performance that Sean Payton has put out there since he began coaching the New Orleans Saints. I mean, on offense, when the Saints were on offense, I was like, "What are you doing, man? You have a rookie quarterback making his first career start at the helm. So what you typically do in those situations is you make life easy for the rookie quarterback. Your offensive line was depleted. So what do you have to do? You have to get the ball out quick. Where was the quick screen passes? Where was the run heavy offense? Where was the moving Ian Book out of the pocket because you knew the pocket was going to collapse in less than 1 or 2 seconds? Like, where was any of that stuff? Sean Payton made Ian Book all night long just stand back in the pocket and drop back, and that's why he kept getting sacked, is because the offensive line was depleted. So Sean Payton did not make any adjustments. It was ridiculous, it was terrible, and it was a disgraceful game plan all around. And I don't know, like, he saw like Ian Book struggling in the first half. Then why did you even make him attempt more passes in the second half? I get you were down, but still, like, why? Where was the moving the pocket? Where was like getting Ian Book out on bootlegs? Where was the run heavy attack? Where was the quick screen passes? Where was the up tempo when you could get it? Where was like sending more guys out to block? Like, I mean, it was just a terrible game plan for Sean Payton. Like, it was like Sean Payton didn't even care. Like, that's how pathetic it was when I was watching this game.
You're right. You're right, Isaiah. I mean, Sean Payton didn't even care. Like, if you look at, I feel like that the Saints could be better next year, but do you think that he needs to draft his own quarterback next year?
I don't think he needs to draft the quarterback because he doesn't have a great track record of developing quarterbacks. Sean Payton, in his tenure with the New Orleans Saints, has never had to develop a quarterback um, to be his franchise quarterback, and we've seen it tonight. He struggles with coaching up young quarterbacks. When he's had success, it is always with a ready-made veteran quarterback, and he can only coach those ready-made veteran quarterbacks. He can't develop and coach up a young rookie quarterback. He just can't. So I think that they need to go in free agency or make a trade. Go get an Aaron Rodgers. Go get a Russell Wilson if he's available. Go get a Deshaun Watson if he's available. Go get even Jimmy Garoppolo would be a good option for them if he is or he will be available. But go get him as well. Like, it was just a stupid game plan by Sean Payton. I absolutely hated it. Like I said, I posted this on Facebook, Loro. If I was Ian Book, I would have just walked off the sidelines, and just sat on the bench and just said, I refuse to play for this, like, to play in this ridiculous game plan. Because, I mean, you're literally making me just get murdered time and time and time and time and time again. Like, it's a miracle that Ian Book didn't get hurt tonight, because he was just dropping back and guys were just coming after him and he was getting hit. So it was just a ridiculous night all around for Sean Payton. Sean Payton has a lot of soul searching that he has to do. And I mean, if I'm the New Orleans Saints, believe it or not, Laurel, I would actually keep Ian Book in the starting lineup, because I think with Jameis Winston gone, and Taysom Hill is I think he's got COVID, but Taysom Hill is not that good of a passer anyways. He's better as a rusher, and we've seen that Ian Book in college, he's a good thrower of the football. He's a guy that is a good thrower of the football. He's a guy that when you are patient with him, when you give him the protection and he can stand in there and have time to scan the football field, he can make plays. He's not a scrub. I keep telling people this. He is not a scrub. So if I'm the New Orleans Saints, I mean, your playoff hopes are pretty much dashed at this point. Why not start Ian Book the rest of the season? See what you got in him. Because, I mean, this was his first start. Yeah, and he was going up against a vaunted defense. See what he can do once you give him back his stud wide receivers. You give him back the offensive line, see what you can do once he actually gets reps in practice.
You're right, Isaiah. I mean, he has to find a way to get the proper reps in practice, and I also wanted to say, I mean, James Gonzalez has a comment here. You guys think that Sean Payton would ever leave the Saints, although being under contract? No, Sean Payton is the right coach for the Saints. Sean Payton really needs to just get a better quarterback. This has been a very, very tough season for the New Orleans Saints, and life after Drew Brees has been hard for the Saints.
Well, I agree. I agree, Laura. Life after Drew Brees has been really tough. And I think that, I think the Saints right now, the rest of the season, there's playoff hopes. I mean, they are one game back, but realistically, their playoff hopes are dead at this point. Because I mean, even if you make the playoffs, you're probably going to get slaughtered in the first round anyways because you don't have a quarterback. So what the Saints need to do is they need to start eating book the rest of the season because we know what Taysom Hill can give you. And Taysom Hill, he's a gimmick player. What Let's see what Ian Book can do for you. And if let's say he shines in the final couple games of the season, and then you can move forward with Ian Book as your starter. You can get a veteran in to mentor him and see where you go from there. I mean, I think that's a good option because right now we see, yeah, Ian Book looked terrible tonight, but come on, he was missing his stud left tackle. He was missing a bunch of wide receivers. He was missing Alvin Kamara had a bad game. Let's see what he can do once he's given the reps, once he's given the supporting cast around him.
Yeah, you're right. He has to have the proper supporting cast around him, but talk about the Saints and their offseason coming up. Do you think they're going to get Russell Wilson in a trade? Do you think they're going to use the upcoming draft class, or do you think they need to get a free agent?
I don't think they'll use the upcoming draft class because I don't think that Sean Payton loves coaching up rookie quarterbacks. I think he's kind of like Kyle Shanahan, who loves to coach up ready-made veteran quarterbacks. So I think they'll go after a veteran quarterback in the offseason. I don't know who it will be, though, because you talk about Russell Wilson, you talk about Deshaun Watson. I mean, Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, who are most likely going to be available. When you look at those guys, I don't see those guys leaving to go to another NFC team. I see that the Packers and the Seahawks, if they do trade them, I see them trading them to an AFC team to an AFC team. So I don't think that those two guys are viable options for New Orleans. Russell Wilson, if he does somehow land in New Orleans, he would be absolutely terrific. But I just don't see him landing in the NFC. I think he's going to the AFC. And I think the only option that they should have, and I think they should pursue him hard, is Deshaun Watson if the legal troubles get all cleared up. I think Deshaun Watson with Sean Payton Loro, I mean, imagine that cooking on the field in the Superdome every single week.
That would be so much better for the Saints. I mean, to get Deshaun Watson, and I think that needs to happen. But also, talking about if you talk about the Dolphins here, Brian Flores deserves to get recognition for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, you start 1-7, everybody leading them off, including me, and they win their next 7, and who knows, they might even win more games after this one, because they do have a very favorable schedule down the stretch. So who knows, they might start 1-7 and make the playoff. And if he does that, I mean, is there anybody else that's worthy of the Coach of the Year besides him after the job he's done from going 1-7 to making the playoffs? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, he has done a remarkable job. So are you saying that you think Tua Tagovailoa is the future of the Miami Dolphins?
For me, I think the jury is still out on him. I don't know, because I think that he can be a good quarterback in the NFL, but there's just sometimes some of the mistakes that he's made, you're just like, dude, you can't do that in the NFL. Like the interception that he throws, I know a lot of quarterbacks, like every quarterback throws interceptions, but you just can't have some of those plays. And I think what Tua needs is he just needs give me a couple more seasons. I need Tua to give me a couple more seasons to show me that he's actually the man in Miami before I actually make a judgment call on him.
He's shown it. I mean, when he's healthy, you know how good he is throwing the football, you know?
Yeah, I mean he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I mean if Miami wants to take that next level, they need that difference maker star at quarterback. And right now, for me, the jury is still out on if Tua can get to that that high elite level, like a Deshaun Watson or a Rodgers um or even a trying to think off the top of my head, or even Joe Burrow. I mean, Laurel, would you say Joe Burrow is better than Tua right now? I think so.
Joe Burrow has had a breakout season. I think that the Bengals by next year, I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be a team that's going to win the AFC North pretty much every season. I'm already on that Bengals bandwagon.
Sorry, I was on mute there, but yeah, I think that right now Burrow is better. I want to see Tua have that breakout season. I want to have him.
I know he does. I know he has it in him. I think he will. But this year, he needed time to recover from the rib injury and all that. But I really think by next year, Tua Tagovailoa is going to burst into the scene.
Yeah, that's why I think next year is like a make it or break it type of a year for Tua.
Yeah, I just think the Dolphins are going to spend a lot of money to build around Tua. I just think that this offseason for the Dolphins, my outlook for them, they need to just beef up on the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line of the Dolphins is not that great, but I think that they're going to beef it up.
I hope they do, because you need an offensive line to protect your quarterback, and an offensive line is very instrumental to making a quarterback successful. I mean, look at Ian Book tonight. I mean, the guy barely got 1 second to throw the football before all hell broke loose for him in regards to the defensive line coming after him. So I think that, you definitely got to have an offensive line. That's what you got to start out when it comes to building around your quarterback. You got to definitely start out with the trenches.
You definitely have to start out with the trenches there. I just think that it needs to happen that way, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think you definitely gotta start out with the trenches, and then you gotta move forward afterwards.
Yes, you definitely have to move forward here. So, anyways, talking about the Saints, the Dolphins' next game's against the Tennessee Titans. Do they have a chance to beat them? I really think they should beat the Titans, because the Titans are very well shorthanded without Derrick Henry.
Wait, who do they play, Laurel? Can you repeat that?
The Dolphins play the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee.
I'm going to go with the Titans, because I think that the Titans at home, they are a much different team than they are on the road. They feed off that electric home atmosphere in Nashville, Tennessee. And I just think Ryan Tannehill, I mean, everybody criticizes him as not being that high elite quarterback. And I agree with them. They are not he's not that high level elite quarterback. But he's a very durable quarterback, and they still have a couple running backs that torched my Niners last week on Thursday Night Football. That he's they can run, like Deontay Foreman. He's a really underrated running back. So don't count out the Titans. I think the Titans will win this game just because they're at home.
Oh yeah, I mean, and also for the Saints, I mean, they have. Let's take a look at their next game before we talk about Vic Fangio. So the Saints' next game, they take on the Carolina Panthers. And if they win, they're still pretty much alive in the playoff hunt. What do you think about this game?
I'm going to say it again. Start Ian Book for this game, because the Dolphins' vaunted defense with depleted lineup, it was basically an impossible way for him to succeed. Now you have Carolina. Carolina's not that good. Their defense is all right. Their offense sucks. So I think what the New Orleans Saints need to do is to really fully, fairly evaluate Ian Book to see if he's your future, because he might be your future. Who knows? you need to start him against the Panthers because that with him getting the reps, with him getting players back healthy, and with him playing against a not so vaunted team, I honestly think that he could have success. I really do. I think that if he can have success, build up that confidence, Sean Payton builds up a better game plan with him getting more reps. I think he could definitely show out and ball out for the New Orleans Saints.
Absolutely. So, anyways, now let's talk about Vic Fangio. So there has been some report that you're saying that are you ready to say that the Denver Broncos should move on from Vic Fangio?
Well, so here's the thing. The Vic Fangio made some comments today saying that that he deserves another year in Denver, and the question is, does he deserve? Like, do you agree with Vic Fangio that he deserves another year in Denver? For me, I say yes because here's why. Benjamin Albright, who we had on our show today, he tweeted this out on his Twitter account. You guys can go ahead and find it, or you guys can go on my Twitter account and find it on my timeline. I retweeted it, and that was Laurel, believe it or not, do you know the Denver Broncos? This Denver Broncos defense is allowing less points at this point of the season than the Denver Broncos defense in 2016 that had a dominant season and won the Super Bowl. Did you know that?
This year, I thought that when they got rid of Von Miller, the Denver Broncos defense would be trash.
Yeah, and well, instead they played more dominant without Von Miller. That's credit goes to Vic Fangio. I think Vic Fangio is a great coach. I think he's a defensive mastermind. He's a guy that he's all in on the defensive side of things. The defense is not the problem with the Denver Broncos. The defense is dominant. What the problem with the Broncos is their offense. Pat Shurmur, like I told you and Ben last night, he is one of the worst offensive coordinators and play callers in NFL history. I mean, this guy is so damn bad. He's so conservative. His play calling is awful. And if I'm the Broncos, what I would do is I would keep Vic Fangio because you need that defense. I would keep Vic Fangio, and I would go out there, go get a better quarterback, go get Deshaun Watson, go get Aaron Rodgers, or go get Russell Wilson, whomever like those guys are, and then what I would do is I would fire Pat Shurmur, get the offensive coordinator that Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, whom they want, and let that quarterback be paired with Vic Fangio. Because imagine that defense, Laurel, that great defense that Vic Fangio has built in Denver that's dominating right now with guys like Mike Purcell, Bradley Chubb, Justin Simmons, and Ronald Darby, Bryce Callahan, all those guys. Imagine that defense, and you have Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson leading your attack on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, my goodness, man, Vic Fangio might be Bill Belichick 2.0. Like, this is going to be a crazy, crazy mix. It'll be a crazy mix if you have that defense, that great defense, paired with a stud franchise quarterback. That's what Vic Fangio just needs. He needs a stud franchise quarterback, and he will be successful because the Broncos have weapons on offense. They got Sutton, they got Judy, they got the running game. You just need that great quarterback to maximize all that talent.
Yes, I mean, do you think that the Broncos should draft their quarterback in this upcoming class?
No, I think they need a veteran. Because I think that Vic Fangio is kind of also like Sean Payton in a way. It just doesn't work well with young quarterbacks. I think that you need a veteran because the Broncos have relied on the draft too much. They need that veteran quarterback. Go get Russell Wilson. Go get Aaron Rodgers. This is like one of the very few times ever in NFL history where superstar quarterbacks are available on the tree. Like, it's crazy, man, how much potential superstar quarterbacks we could see on the move this upcoming season. So go get Aaron Rodgers. Go get Russell Wilson if he's out of Seattle. Go get Deshaun Watson if his legal troubles clear up. Or if you can't get any of them, go get a Derek Carr, or even go get Kirk Cousins if he's available from Minnesota. Like, take advantage of this amazing veteran class that we could potentially see on the move.
You're right about that. They should take advantage of this.
Exactly. They have to take advantage of it. They absolutely have to.
Yeah, and then also, anyways, Casey King says Broncos need a real GM. John Elway is not a good GM as he doesn't know how to find a quarterback in the draft. Surprisingly, John Elway is not a good executive. I mean, he doesn't know how to find good quarterbacks. The only good quarterback he found was Peyton Manning.
Yep, exactly. And he was a veteran quarterback, so that's why he got him.
Yeah, so anyways, some final thoughts before we end this, because I'll see you on Friday for the New Year's extravaganza. I'm very excited about that show.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm very pumped for that show. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to be doing that show from the airport. I'm going to be, opening up 2020 right here at the lovely San Jose International Airport. So that's going to be fun. But looking forward to that. We'll give you guys more information later on as the week goes by. But it was a great show tonight. Glad that we could do this last minute, even though it was last minute. Glad we could do it, get all that we needed to get off our chest, and yeah, fun show. Looking forward to the New Year's extravaganza.
I can tell the airport seems to be quiet right now.
Well, it is. Well, you guys can't hear it because for some reason my phone takes out the background noise, but it's pretty noisy around here. There's someone mopping the floor and all that stuff right now.
Yeah. Anyways, Isaiah, I'll see you on Friday for the New Year's extravaganza. Have a great night, everyone.